Oh, a PC. We got a piecewise function here, and we're going to have to take the integral of it. Okay, so just a quick recap. F is our integrand. F is the piecewise function. Our interval for our integral is from 1 to 4. But on the piecewise function, the rule switches at 2. So what this means is that we have to do two separate integrals for this interval. We have from 1 to 2 of f dx plus, and then we have from 2 to 4. So we go from 1 to 4 ultimately of f of x, and then we go dx. Okay, so the rule from 1 to 2 is going to be this top guy, because anything less than 2 is negative 2x plus 6. And then for the next part, from 2 to 4, that would be this rule right here. So we're going to have to put 2 cosine. Oops, I forgot my integral sign. We have from 2 to 4 of 2 cosine pi x dx. Okay, first let's do the easy one. Let's do the linear function, the polynomial right here. Okay, so let's see. We're going to take the antiderivative of each term. Okay, so we're going to add 1 to this exponent, and then we're going to divide it by that result, which is going to be 2. So we have negative 2 divided by positive 2, which would give us a negative 1, x to the second power, plus 6x. Okay, because there's no x, now there's an x because we're doing the antiderivative. And then we're going to plug in the 2 and then the 1. All right, let's pause on that one. That antiderivative was nice and understandable. This one, not so much. Now, usually when I do these ones, I use the U substitution, but we haven't learned that yet. And so we got to think about this right here and think, how do we get there? How do we get to 2 cosine pi x? What is that the derivative of? Okay, so first you might think, well, it's got to be sine, right? Because if I take the derivative of sine with the pi x inside of it, the derivative of sine is cosine with the pi x inside of it. However, this is a function inside of the function, which means we would have to use the chain rule. So that would mean it wouldn't just equal that. It would equal that times pi, because pi is the derivative of pi x. Okay, so but that we don't have a pi cosine. We have a 2 cosine. And so maybe you're thinking, oh yeah, we can easily fix that. All we got to do is take this sign right here and put a 2. And then this would be 2 cosine with the pi multiplying to it because of the chain rule. But this one doesn't have a pi. It has no pi. Okay, so how do we make sure this pi doesn't show up after we take the derivative of this? Well, we put the 2 over the pi. Then when this 2 over pi is multiplying to the pi, these pi's cancel out, and then I'm left with what I'm looking for, 2 cosine pi x. I don't like doing this in order to take the antiderivative. I like using U substitution, but we're going to wait to do that for quiz 5. But this is for quiz 4. So that's how you intuitively figure that out. I know none of these problems in quiz 4 are going to be more complicated than this one right here. So you just kind of have to think about what you have to take the derivative of to get here. And this is going to be our answer. Okay, so let's write that guy. We have 2 over pi sine pi over x. And then we're going to plug in the 4 and the 2. Okay, so now we got to FTC these foos. That means we got to plug in the upper bound and then subtract, plug in the lower bound. So we're going to say negative 2 raised to the second power plus 6, 2. Okay, so I plugged in the upper derivative, the upper bound. Then I subtract, and now I'm going to plug in the 1. And then we have our plus. Okay, so I just FTC'd that foo. Now I just have to simplify it. And then our next one, he's kind of ugly, but I think you'll like it after we see what happens here. So we have sine, and then we have pi times 4. So that's actually going to be 4 pi inside there. And then that's the first one. I plugged in the upper bound, minus, we're going to have big parentheses here, minus, let's see, sine, nope, forgot my 2 pi. 2 pi times sine pi times 2. So that's going to be 2 pi inside there. Okay, so we got the FTC of each of those. I should put like parentheses around this whole thing because we got to, I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, because we have an addition sign. But anyways, let's simplify the blue. All right, so this is going to be 4 with a negative. So we have negative 4 plus, that's 12. So negative 4 plus 12 is going to be positive 8. Subtract. And then we have a negative 1 and plus a 6. So we have a 5. So we're going 8 minus 5, which is 3. All right, what are we going to get after that 3 right there? Let's simplify the purple. All right, we got trigonometry. Okay, so let's pull out our unit circle concept. We know that 4 pi is going to be twice around the circle. That's going to be a full 4 pi. And so then we consider the coordinate right there on our unit circle, which is 1, 0, and sine is the y value. So check that out. This actually just equals 0. So 2 over pi is 0. So that's 0 minus. And then, what's this line doing right here? That's weird. Okay, and then we have 2 pi. So what is 2 pi going to do? Well, 2 pi actually gives us the same point. It gives us that point because it's just one time around the circle. All right, so that means this is also going to be 0. 0 times 2 over pi is 0. So we're adding 0, which means our answer is 3. Yay.